Hi, I'm Jason Moran, jazz pianist and composer and jazz artistic advisor for the Kennedy Center. You know, I used to be a skateboarder. There's something about that mentality that kind of resonated also within music. For me, I think the kind of what a skateboarder relies on is their board. It's very simple. Their board and their wheels, and then they interact with the environment. They go out, they look for these smooth spaces, they look for these tables, these things to kind of push against, these obstacles that they work with, and that they begin to perfect tricks or create new tricks for. So it's totally built on how they react to the landscape. It's totally built on that. And in that way, there's all this improvisation that takes place. You see this crack coming up, and you need to kind of jump off the board so that the board doesn't fly all over the place. You know, these things, they're making these snap decisions very quickly in the same way that a jazz musician is thinking about improvisation. There's something happen, you know, if I'm watching, it's beautiful to watch, sometimes this happens, while a drummer is playing, they drop a stick. How they manage to pull another stick and then keep rhythm continuing to flow, you know? Or if a musician, they hear things. If I hear a bass player play a different note than I actually expected, then it becomes, oh, I can turn down that road. That one note that they play now has prompted me to move in a totally different direction. And through that, then you can find innovation. This is what, you know, these empty swimming pools that skateboarders used to skate in was built off of people not having money anymore to keep these pools up and abandoning homes, and then skaters realizing, oh, well, there's a second use for these pools. It's for us to skate in. And in that way, you know, you really make use of what you have. And so then you realize that the function of the creative musician is to play it their way, is to figure out, you know, their approach to it. Say my grandfather, growing up in Houston, he thought me learning jazz, okay, that's really great, no, but can you play some blues? That was his thing, like, can you play some blues? Now, I didn't really know what he was talking about because I wasn't concerned with blues when I was 15 years old or whatever. I was thinking about hip hop, and hip hop is contemporary blues to a degree. That's what intrigues me as a listener, is to hear how different people speak through their instruments. Which words they use, what slang they use, how slang changes from generation to generation. These are the things that make up language and make up the language of jazz too, you know? It's through all popular musics that are contemporary. The words all change meanings, the songs change meanings over time too. And this is what the contemporary musician is supposed to be looking for. The development, you know, the development of the language, and they continue. And even so, say when you talk to your grandparents and they use words that you don't use anymore, that becomes interesting as a young listener. So when I get to be 75 years old and I still talk and play the way I play, it will be interesting to some 18-year-old because they're like, wow, that's the sound of an era. It's the sound of an era. My job is to take that sound and then fit it into my world, my new 2012 world, you know? And these songs have different meanings now. And so you play them in a way that you think reflects my personality, you know? It's built on this history that has come before it too. And this becomes what young, striving musicians are looking for, is they're trying to grasp as much language as they can so that then they can say something to an audience, and an audience of people who are 70, 60, 50, 40 years old, 30 years old, 20 years old, 10 years old, that they'll all find something in it to take away.